can do that.
Maybe you can show at the end.
Yeah, okay.
I would prefer to go on with our discussion, and I would like to bring this question to another level. You mentioned before, and I think that's really a big problem. The housing market in Taipei is crazy. I never saw a city where you got so bad quality for so high prices. You want to avoid it, that this development also take place in Taipei County. But you have the pressure, population growth, and you stimulate projects, or you develop a project that stimulates, let's say, upgrading the surroundings. How you could avoid that upgrading only leads to comparable situation than Taipei city?
Yeah, actually this is a difficult task because, again, this is a free country. Now there's no law to say that we increase the property of the house, then we should compensate. There's no regulation for that. This is actually the most difficult part. Is, as I just mentioned, to treat those people. We need a law, we need a regulation. But now, okay, the land price increase, the business make money, but they don't have a channel to feedback. Okay, we do have our own land, like we develop the area where the government, the county government, we have our own property. We can use that property to build a cheaper house so that the ordinary citizen can afford. But then we have to set a policy. Who can apply? Who is qualified to apply? So we have to think of that. We have sold part of our land and use that for the social events. Yeah. But yet there's no law to request that we should do that. And then if I'm the vice governor, I fully understand that, I will implement that. But I'm not sure next governor, if he's going to appreciate that he's going to do that. But unfortunately, I can tell you that 99% of the politicians in this country don't think that way. So this is the problem. Yeah.
But that means that, in fact, if you are looking to European experiences, we have municipality land policy, control land prices, for example, and we have social housing policy to make housing affordable for low-income groups. Is that a possibility on county level? Because I see your limitations.
Yes.
That I'm talking about a legal framework on national level, yes, and you are operating on county level.
Yes. So the law making is the central government. Okay, so the county government, we have very limited jurisdiction on that. So again, this is the value. That's why we all come back to education. Probably this generation, it takes too much time. But next generation, they can get smarter. But the value of the politician in this country, or the spiritual level of the politician in this country is very low. Okay, so I don't think in the immediate tomorrow or 1 or 2 years we can have a law like that. No, I don't think so. But we tried to the very upper limit of the county level. We try to do our best, and we try to lobby the legislation yet. But I don't think it will be available 2 or 3 years from now. Yeah, but this will be a major problem. This is a major crisis. I can already see that.
Yeah. Second approach,
yeah,
from Europe, some municipalities are doing is to negotiate with developers, because in fact the municipality or the county makes pre-investment also for the developers, to negotiate with them to realize houses in a certain differentiation. Means for example, the city where I live, in Rotterdam, it's very usual that the municipality says 30% of the houses have to be social housing. Otherwise, you don't get permission.
Yes, of course, we hope we can do that. But for the land development project, those two you have seen in Xinzhuang area, actually the government can take about 50% of the land. Actually, if the governor or the central government, the president, he wants to have a social house, I think he still have the right. He still can do that. But then we have convinced him that it's the right thing to do. Yeah.
May I invite the audience for more questions, contributions to the... Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, okay. Actually, this question also a little bit relates to the Professor David Havitt's lectures just now, but also relate to the maybe the phenomena we see just now. Actually, we are in the time is a little bit different with Karl Marx was faced more than 100 years ago. We are in the time of the so-called global capitalism. I mean, at this moment, the capital, their power to control the world is even much improved than the time of Karl Marx. We can see this. We say maybe the commercialized of the public sense. For example, like media, you see the so-called world media like BBC and CNN. Actually, they are all controlled by the capitalism, so that controlled by the neoliberalism, this kind of thinking. So at this moment, how to, of course I agree with David Havitt about social movements is also one kind of tool we can use to realize real people's democracy. But at the time, the media, the information is highly controlled by the capitalists in the form of the freedom, in the forms of individualism. Even, how to say, like some phenomenon sometimes in China we see the real estate developer associated by the architect, especially this world-famous architecture star. They're working together. Even they lend the terms, they use the terms from John Jacobs, even from Karl Marx. But actually they're not, they just use this term to sell their project. So how to distinguish the real social movement or socialist, or we can say the capitalized socialist? Yeah, that's the question.
David Harvey. You do have an answer.
Yeah, the situation is very different from what it once was, but one of the recommendations that Karl Marx made and Engels made in 1848, 160 years ago, in the Communist Manifesto, was that there should be centralization of the means of credit in the hands of the state. If you look at what's happened in the last year or so, we've actually achieved that, pretty much. If it was not for the world's central bankers, the credit system would have completely collapsed. So my argument would be, well, that's one of 10 recommendations